Welcome to the City Pigeons Podcast. We are back. Meech, your vacation is officially over. Back to work. How you feeling? Are you feeling refreshed?
A little bit refreshed.
Just a little bit?
A little bit. It was a week on the beach, but I still got 5 kids, so it's like
It's still a little bit of work.
yeah,
huh?
like you got to carry a wagon with toys and.
I'm a big lazy man's load guy. You know what I mean? I get as much stuff going, and by the time I get down there, I'm all sweaty and angry. You know?
Yeah, we talked about the lazy man's load when we were down there, right?
That's right. It's all about the lazy man's load. And
Gotcha.
I never understood the saying a vacation from the vacation until I went on vacation with children.
Right.
And then you're like, okay,
Yeah.
now I need.
Like if you ever go to like Disney World or something with kids, it's not a vacation.
It's not a vacation.
at all.
No, that's basically work. You should get
Yeah.
paid to do that.
Right.
So we have an exciting announcement, gentlemen.
What we got?
The City Pigeons Podcast has our first official sponsor.
Nice.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm very excited to announce that our first sponsor is the Goodheart Firm, a personal injury firm based in Center City. My good friend, awesome guy, Mark Goodheart, is the founder of
Sounds like a great guy.
Goodheart. You can't go wrong with that, right? Would you trust a guy by the name of Goodheart?
Yeah.
I absolutely would. His firm is an amazing personal injury firm. Mark is the kind of quintessential City Pigeons guy. I think that when you guys know when you suffer some sort of, personal injury, whether it's through, medical situation, accident, work, whatever it is. It
Balling
can be,
when you're washed.
You're balling when you're washed.
Yeah.
Your guy fouled you too hard, then you
Yeah,
got a claim right there. I think that having somebody who you can relate to, understands, the kind of person that you are and really cares about you is very meaningful. You see a lot of firms out here. I won't mention any. They got the billboards around every corner. And, having somebody that you can count on to individually take part in your representation is a huge thing. Mark is a lifelong Philadelphian who he said he believes Jalen Hurts is good enough to take us to the Super Bowl. He believes the Sixers will be in the finals. He also believes baseball was better when pitchers would, go the distance and throw complete games. So if you're into the City Pigeons Podcast, I think the Goodheart Firm is the best place to go. He also has a relationship where he's of counsel with a larger firm, and that allows them to provide additional resources when they are, helping you out. Feldman Shepherd is the larger firm, so it's kind of the best case scenario where you get individual representation from Mark, but you also have the resources of a larger firm behind you. So we are super excited to have Mark and his team on board. Let's give him a little bit of a
Shout out Mark
Yeah,
and
baby.
the Goodheart Firm, man.
So very,
What's like the statute of limitations on personal injuries?
I don't know, Rock. I did go to law school and get my law degree, and that reminds me, I actually have about 10 hours of legal education credit to get by August 31st. So after this, I'm going to go home and watch an online seminar.
Remember when we were snowboarding up in Vermont and that guy clipped me and I pretty much broke my back?
Yeah, statute of limitations has run on that for sure. That
all
had
right,
to be,
all right.
20 years ago?
Nah, maybe.
And they would say your, average abilities probably were contributory
Fuck
to
no, that
the
dude
incident.
ran right into me.
You should have seen this guy look like he was going to give birth off his back. I mean, you've never seen anything
Yeah,
like it.
we'll get a
Get the
picture.
photo.
Yeah, we'll get the photo and put that in
Get the photo.
in the Fink tank.
So super excited to have our first sponsor. Anyone else wants to jump on board?
Get
hit
in
us
while-
up.
get in now.
We will sell out
what
in
do they
any
say?
way possible.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
There you go.
So you better
There
get
you
in
go.
now.
So moving on. One of the things that has been super fun about doing this podcast with you guys, Rock I've known pretty well for a long time, but Meech, we got kind of reacquainted doing this, and Fink, you're a new friend that I'm happy to have. Thank you very much.
Oh, thanks.
But, you start to learn about people, and you think you know them, and then you see something, and you're just like, I thought I knew you. I thought I was getting to know you. And this weekend, Mark, our buddy from the Goodheart Firm, was going to the Fish concert in Atlantic City. Don't hold that against him, as a lawyer. He's a very competent lawyer. But he was going to the Fish concert, and I saw that a new friend of mine was also going to the Fish concert, and it was one Eric Fink. And I was taken aback by the fact that you were heading to the Fish concert, because to me, you're just like the, hardcore Philly guy. I just didn't see it. And I'm very interested to hear, because you're not like one of these Fish fans. Is that right?
I'm not a Fish guy.
Okay, so
I never heard a song from him before the concert. Never.
Did he even
Never.
have songs? I don't think they
Do they have songs?
No, I mean like they're like aren't they like
Of course,
a jam band? Like
they're a jam band,
Yeah.
but they
But they have
definitely have
songs.
songs.
They go on
Like,
for.
yeah,
They
yeah.
have songs that go on for a really
You can't
long
just
time.
go out and jam all day.
Listen, they have enough songs to do a different show every night for
Yeah.
like 7 nights in a row. So they definitely have songs. But I actually went to a Fish show in high school when I didn't really like Fish. I have not gone back since. It was, I don't want to call it a traumatic experience. It was just a little too much for me, sensory overload. But I'm very interested to hear about. Let's head over into the Fink tank to get Fink's review of the Fish concert without being a Fish fan on the beach in Atlantic City.
It was a great fucking time. I gotta tell you that. I had a great
You don't have
time.
to tell us exactly what you did, but just give us, a general review.
So my two buddies they liked Fish. So they were like, yeah, let's go down to Atlantic City. It's on the beach. Sunday, I have off on Sundays and then Monday. So I'm like, I'm in. I'd like to have a good time. So I'll do whatever. So we get down there. There is no rules when you're at a Fish concert.
No
Like,
rules.
there's no rules.
Right.
Like they don't pat you down. They give you a little wand. People.
Right.
We were like, so we took in some snacks with us.
You wild men took in snacks?
Snacks
Oh,
with us.
snacks.
Snacks with
I
us.
got you.
So like I was like, oh wow, like I had to like hide these, tape them in my body and everything. We get in there, there's people with bowls, bongs, they're just bringing them out. They're smoking in the middle of the thing. People are passing around shrooms everywhere, and like people are just dancing everywhere.
I mean, listen, you can get on an airplane with a bag full of cannabis products at this point. I'm not surprised you can do whatever the hell you want when you go to a Fish show.
Yeah, but
I don't know
Fish shows
anything
have
about
been
that.
lawless since the like it's always
yeah,
been.
isn't that like the big allure to a Fish show? Is like
well, I didn't know all this, so I get in there. We might have partaked in some more like fun stuff that I mentioned. So we were just. It was a good time.
We were
Everyone's
vibing.
friendly. We were vibing.
Did you meet any young ladies down there? I know you're always on the.
Do you remember any of the songs from that Fish sang?
I remember a guy was dancing on a trampoline playing a guitar. That was wild to me.
He was like jumping and playing the guitar at the same time.
Yes.
So
that
you were
was
watching his concert over the Fish concert.
No, he was
No,
part
the
of the
Fish
band.
guy.
Oh, the guy in the Fish was on a
playing the
trampoline.
guitar. He was just jumping on a
I thought you were
trampoline.
some
Yeah,
random guy in the crowd.
Yeah, you think a guy in the crowd's got his guitar playing? No.
Like I would think a guy in the crowd would do that. At a
So I
Fish
might
show.
be a little bit under influence. I'm just watching this guy. Like I'm just like, this guy's on a
Mesmerized.
trampoline playing it.
So it was like
guitar,
Cirque
like-
du Soleil for stoners.
Yes, it was a good
Awesome.
time. It was a good time.
And there's a guy who like plays a vacuum during the show. I don't know if you saw that particular, but I've seen that before. It's very impressive. I think they're very talented musicians. I think if you're into that sort of thing, it's a great show. But did you feel the music, or was it just the
yeah,
vibe?
you could feel it. You got in there. You were sitting there going back and forth. You get entranced by the music.
Right.
You gotta love the concert goers at a Fish show. It's
It-
just
they're amazing.
Nobody's judging anyone.
Everyone's having
yeah.
fun. Everyone's happy. Everyone's smiling. Some dude was there by himself. He just stood next to us, and we wound up talking to him the whole time. We're talking. We're sharing snacks. Just having a good time. Like
Sharing
everyone,
snacks.
Everyone's
It's probably like that. I know you hate Hoagie Fest, but you remember that Hoagie Fest commercial from a few years ago where they're like tripping on the beach?
Yes.
That was pretty much like what
that
the
was
Fish
about
show was.
95% of the concert. But like it was just everyone's happy. Everyone's having a good time. Like
Yeah.
most concerts I go to aren't like that, and like
Yeah.
everyone's just like hugging, loving. It was a good time. I love it. I'll go back, but
You will go back.
I will. But I probably need some time. It was a rough day.
Now,
it
could you
was a
do-
long day.
I know a few people who did all 3 nights on the beach. You think you could do that?
No,
No way.
not. I couldn't go 3 days with how we were partying during that.
Right.
Because we went.
Right.
We
You
had a
would've
lot
had
of
to-
snacks
Well,
on
there's
Sunday.
people that follow them like it's their job, and
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because
And
like
they don't
every I
stop.
think
So
like every
get your
show's
stamina
unique,
up,
right?
dude.
That's the whole allure. It's like every show's unique. You go to a show
Right.
every day, it's
The
different.
guy
than
that we
the
met,
next
he
one.
said he was there all 3 days. He said he's been to shows in Vermont. He's
they're
been to,
probably
like,
all the same. They just don't remember.
possibly.
No, I asked because I was interested. Like, they don't play the same thing ever. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, apparently the thing is they never played the same song the same way at any concert.
Right.
They never repeated the same like way they
Something.
played it or something like that.
So that brought up an interesting discussion.
Wait, did they have like an opener or anything, or is it just like
I don't think so.
you come to Fish and that's
You're there for Fish.
It's just Fish.
It's
And
not
then
like
they just come
Insane
up and
Clown
they-
Posse
No,
opens
no,
for
they just come out and everyone just starts and it's
No, I think they play for like 3 or 4 hours, right?
yeah. So they got on
They're
stage
having as
around
much fun as
8 till
you
like
are.
11:30. We got
Right.
done.
They're probably having snacks on the stage.
Unlike I heard
No, they were definitely having some snacks.
I had a buddy who went to the Run the Jewels show at the what was that, the Adult Swim thing at the Fillmore.
Right.
And he said they only played for an hour, and they're the headliners. Like,
and concerts
an
are
hour
expensive.
an hour is a decent amount of time
not
for
really.
a,
Not for a
hip-hop.
headliner at a festival.
It depends. If you've been around forever, I feel like people want to see more than an hour. But that's interesting. It's different depending. I'm sure the vibe was a little different at the Run the Jewels show than the Fish show. But either way, to each their own.
There's probably snacks in both crowds.
It's just two different kind of stoners.
Right, exactly. But,
the other thing was after the concert, they are just selling the whippets with the balloons on the boardwalk.
I saw a Whippet billboard in Atlantic City, like on Twitter. Somebody took a picture of it.
We were like amazed by it.
Yeah,
That's
billboard
insane.
for Whippets.
It says hippie whippets, and it's just a billboard that sells nitrous. But you're on the boardwalk, and they have carts. People are just pulling frozen, like.
Apparently that's legal now.
They're just pulling it down. There was like at least probably like 35 helium tanks, and people are just like, we got ice cold helium, and going down the
Times have
boardwalk.
changed.
No, I think Fish has like a deal with police, just to leave everybody alone.
Yeah, they're like,
and
just
nothing's
everybody's gonna be
happen. Everybody's
peaceful.
chill.
Yeah, just let 'em
leave
go.
us alone.
Somebody's pockets are getting greased, no doubt about it. Well, there was some interesting engagement this week online around, everybody's favorite kind of concert experience.
Gotta love online engagement.
Online engagement, baby. It's what we live for. So I thought it would be interesting for us to kind of go through that and talk about our concert experiences, because the question was, what was the first concert you went to and what was your favorite concert? So I know we all have these memories, and people love talking about this stuff. I actually was headed to a Michael Jackson concert at JFK Stadium, which was, the old stadium outdoors, and it started pouring rain, and the concert never happened. So that was very deflating for my first concert experience.
Yeah, that would have been a pretty good one.
Yeah, that would have been. I mean, you kidding me?
How old were you when that happened?
I mean, I couldn't have been more than 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah.
That was like
Hard to
Michael
tell.
Jackson was the biggest thing on planet Earth at that time.
Yeah.
Huge. I mean,
Everyone was.
I don't think like kids today understand how, even Fink, you don't understand how big Michael
don't get it.
Jackson was in like you don't get it, man.
people were fainting right and left.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a bummer. But then I do remember my first concert, if we're saying our actual first, was my parents took me to Billy Joel. Okay? But I remember, this is going to
like
sound...
a family outing.
Like they just took me along the concert. This is going to sound so lame, but does anyone... You're not going to remember this. Does anyone remember the pillow people?
No.
No. Okay, it was a square pillow.
No.
That had like legs. I just remember I took my pillow. I really should think about
You know
what
what?
I'm going to
I kind of know what you. Yeah.
And
I
we
know
just
what you're
lost
talking
our
about.
first
Yo,
sponsor with the.
they were
I didn't know
dealing
they were
with
called
my head.
pillow people, but now
Okay.
it's a. Yeah, I know.
We're going to look that up. Can you look that up? I don't know if that was the exact name. I just remember I had my pillow person with me at the concert, which
At
is just
the
weird. I
concert?
took it. So, I had to have been pretty young.
Is this it?
Yeah. So, anyway.
I like this guy's face.
That's it. That's it. Oh, no, he's got the Wikipedia page.
I don't know. I thought
Yo,
that was the image.
that's it. Yo, pillow people were a thing. I'm not weird. Please, people of the universe,
That was
back me
your-
up.
that
That's
was
not the
like
one
your-
I had. I didn't have that one.
Yeah,
I didn't
you
have
sure?
that
That was like your binky type thing. Like you had to
I
have
guess
that
so.
wherever you went.
I guess so. I should have really thought about what I was doing here. Nah, but I was talking to Meech earlier. The first concert I went to like by myself was Green Day, and it was at the Civic Center, which most people, I'm guessing, have no recollection of. It used to be over in right on the Penn campus where all the hospitals are. And Billy Joe came out and played the encore butt naked with the guitar, over his nether region. And I was overexposed at that moment. I was just like, oh my God, what is this? This is amazing. And everyone was smoking like in the building, I remember. So that was my first experience, which was really cool. And then my favorite, I think we all probably have like so many favorites. When you go to a show and you don't realize like how lucky you were to be there because that band ended up like doing other things. Rage Against the Machine came to the Factory on I think it was the Evil Empire tour, which was the follow-up to their self-titled album. And they played in the Electric Factory, which was my favorite venue growing up, right? That size, the energy in there.
I think I like the Troc the best.
You like the Troc?
Yeah.
I mean, I saw so many good punk shows at the Troc. That was such a good venue to see stuff like that. But for me, the Electric Factory was, it was bigger, and everybody just being in there.
It always sounded like shit in there.
I don't know about that, dude. I don't agree with that. But anyway, Rage in there was amazing. And then I thought it'd be interesting to talk about our worst concert experiences. I remember mine. We've all had a lot of those too, but I don't know if you remember, this also involves Rage. There was a tour where Rage and Wu-Tang toured together.
In Newark.
In Camden.
Camden,
And let's just talk about it. That is the worst venue to see a
it's
show.
bad.
The E-Center, Tweeter Center, whatever the hell they're calling
Especially if
it.
you're on the lawn, you can't see it.
That is the worst place to see a show. And I was pretty far back. But Wu-Tang came on. Wu-Tang was great in theory, right? You're like, hell yeah, Wu-Tang. Then you realize there's 15 guys on stage.
Yeah.
They don't choreograph like who's doing the backing vocals. So like every other word, all 15 of them are going, chiming in. And
love
then
it.
somebody's kid, I swear to God, I think it was Method.
Yours.
I think it was Method Man's kid was there, and he was doing like backing vocals, like wow, yeah, yeah. And I was like, this is just like absolute chaos. Like just anyway. So that was one recollection I had of a show that I was thinking like this is going to be the greatest show I've ever seen, but that venue sucked. And I didn't Wu-Tang, it was out of control. So that's me.
There was also some, I don't know if you got caught up in it, but anyway, talking about the first show, best show, worst show, I don't remember the first concert I ever went to. I just don't remember.
Yeah, I had a hard time.
Yeah.
Because I started going to concerts when I was like 15.
Okay.
It was like 16 when we got cars. So it was like 95. And then I started going to a lot of them. But I went to so many in like a 4 or 5 month period that I think I know what the first one is. But I had the same.
Yeah, I don't remember the first concert I went to, but the first one that I remember was the Wu-Tang and Rage show that we all went to
I
after
feel
high
like
school.
if you took a pillow person with you maybe, or like
I
a memento,
might have
you
remembered.
would remember it better.
But that was the first one that I remember. And
Right.
I remember a few of us got busted before the concert for underage drinking, and I didn't have my car all summer.
You're actually confusing it. We didn't get busted at that concert. We actually got out of it.
No, you did maybe,
No,
but I didn't.
Okay, but that was the Beastie Boys.
Kids.
That was the Beastie Boys and Tribe show, dude. It's a different show. I'm telling you.
No, it
but
wasn't. I
doesn't
didn't
matter.
go to Beastie Boys Tribe. It was the Wu-Tang and Rage concert. I got busted beforehand, underage drinking in the parking lot, and I didn't have my license all summer. I was salty.
Okay,
as hell.
so were you in the
But anyway,
were you in the parking lot in Camden?
Yeah.
No.
All
I
right.
recollect because I remember avoiding it because I saw what was happening. And
Yeah,
I faded back.
Yeah,
and
I know. I
watched
remember
you
I was like, this
all. It was
motherfucker
Wells
got
Fargo,
away.
dude. It was Wells Fargo.
No, it was not Wells Fargo. It was the Wu-Tang and Rage show. Anyway, that was the first concert that I actually remembered. It was also the worst concert because, like you said, it sounded like shit. I was salty because I just got a citation for underage drinking. Wasn't going to be able to drive all summer. The best concert I went to, I've been to a lot of good concerts, but one that comes to mine is 98 Lyricist Lounge show at the Electric Factory. So Lyricist Lounge. I don't know if people remember Lyricist Lounge.
I went to the first Lyricist Lounge show in Philly at the Brave New World. It was on like 12th and Arch.
I've never heard of that.
Something. And I remember Wordsworth is sitting outside. He's like, yo, this is my first concert outside of New York.
Really?
Yeah.
So the Lyricist Lounge, for people that don't know, hip hop, it was like a collective album of like just a bunch of underground, I guess you consider them underground at that point, hip hop artists. But the one I went to in 98, the Electric Factory, it was like De La Soul and KRS-One were the hosts. There was like Common was there.
Yeah, I was there.
I figured you probably were there. This was like
Wow.
the Drexel. You were a Drexel guy, right?
Yeah.
So we were probably both there. And like, I don't know if you remember this, but like the opening act was like this white dude, right? He's on stage and he's saying like the wildest shit. And you're
Could
like,
it
whoa,
be?
who the fuck is this guy? And then like,
Yeah, we tried to get him. I had a show on Drexel. We tried to get him when he was on there. I knew all
it
about
like
him from
stopped
the Wake Up show.
Yeah, it like stopped the crowd. It's like, who the fuck is this white dude saying this like the wildest shit on stage? And like after he's done performing, he's out in the crowd like just talking with the people. And it's like, like 4 or 5 months later on fucking MTV, it's Hi, My Name Is. So it's like
Wow.
Eminem was
Look at
the
that.
opening act for this Lyricist Lounge show, but not just because of him being there. And like there was just all types of like, if you were a hip hop person at that time, it was like The Roots, Common, De La Soul, and KRS-One were the hosts. It was the best hip hop show ever. And like I'm a hip hop guy, so went to countless Roots shows. Those were always good.
On that note, did you go to the Root show? I feel like we might have gone to this together. We went to see him in Atlantic City at like a car show. Do you remember this? Like in the convention center?
No, I definitely didn't
All right.
go to that.
Like-
I saw them in HMV Records at 15th and Walnut, was it?
Right.
Yeah.
They had their record release party for Philadelphia Half-Life. Me and all my buddies drove down there, and like it was a Tuesday because records would come out on Tuesday.
Tuesdays.
So we drove down there
That's
on a
right.
Monday night at midnight for this concert inside HMV Records. We didn't get home till like 3 in the morning. I had to be in school the next.
Wait, the show was that late?
Yeah. Well,
Oh, because it was
didn't-
coming out.
Yeah, it didn't come
Wow.
on until midnight.
That's so cool. Does stuff like that even happen anymore?
no.
Yeah.
That was really
No,
dope. I
but yeah.
forgot records came out on Tuesdays, man.
Yeah, that was-
There used to be a Tower Records every goddamn Tuesday.
That Lyricist Lounge show was fantastic. And I was like, I guarantee you Meech was at that show. Other ones I've been to recently, like Kendrick Lamar and Travis Scott was really dope a couple years ago for the newer folks.
Well,
I just went to a Roger Waters show on Saturday. Speaking of people like who you would not expect to be at a concert.
Talk to me about that.
It's like, well, you know.
I think that concert's a little waff, no?
It was waff as fuck, to be honest with you.
White as fuck as fuck.
Waff.
So a friend of mine's, a friend of ours, Ace, shout out Marissa Stanek, hit me up and was like, hey, I got an extra ticket. And you know me, fucking extra ticket guy. I was like, yeah, I'll go.
there
Why
he
the fuck
is.
not? I was like, Roger Waters.
Let
I'm
me
like
ask you a question. Let me ask you, this is important. See, I didn't hit the table there. All right, did you see any other brothers there? Was there
Ace
any?
was there.
Oh, you and Ace, but you guys are together. You can't brother nod the guy. Were there any brother nods like that, or did you guys?
There was like, you know, there was a couple people. I mean, obviously the people working there. Then there was like a couple people in the crowd.
People working
The people
there.
working there are not giving you the brother nod. They're giving you that look like, what the hell are you
exactly.
doing
They're
here,
like,
man?
what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah.
But like,
We got to get
you know,
Roger Waters some.
There's a couple people sprinkled
diversified
throughout
fans.
the crowd. You know what I mean? That's
Like-
actually it was a weird crowd though. There was like, I saw kids like 7 years old, like teenagers. There was
That's
like just a random crowd of people.
That was the grandpa who was supposed to babysit their grandson. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll watch him for the night.
But it was like, it was really dope. It was cool. Like we had these, we were pretty much at the stage, so like they're right there, and like this dude's old as fuck. Like he's damn near 80 years old.
Did he look out at you and be like,
Yeah, a couple times. He was like, yeah, I see you out there, bro. And he's like, wait, is he pointing at me or is he pointing at Ace? But whatever.
both of you guys, I see you both.
Yeah.
Good job, man. Thank you.
So
This is great.
this dude's like almost 80 years old, and you're like, damn, this dude, he's up there still rocking and rolling. You know
All
what
the
I mean?
other
It's
guys
like,
pretty much died in the past couple of years. They
it's
didn't
pretty,
make it there.
It's pretty fucking wild. I was thoroughly like, I went there with low expectations. That was just like something to do on a Saturday
But
night.
wait a minute. Like, that is not just, and this is probably the same thing with Fish, it's not just an audio experience, right? The visual. It's like, okay, listen, 80% of the people here are going to be on psychedelics.
Yeah.
You know, we got to really floor them with the laser beams.
I was
What was
talking.
that? They used to have the Pink Floyd light show.
Oh,
and,
we used to go to that all
the
the
band
time.
didn't even have to show up, but, and they'd come out of the woodworks doing that, you know.
Yeah, so when we got there was like the stage was quartered off. So we're like, we sat in front of like, we were like at the stage. We're like, we're not even gonna see half the show because there's this fucking screen blocking off 3/4 of the stage, and then you know the thing raises up, and then they have all these crazy visuals and like the
Did you
lights
end
are
up
popping
did
off.
you end up enjoying yourself then?
Oh yeah, it was fun as
Yeah,
hell, man.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time. So
Very good.
yeah, that's
Very good.
my little concert stories.
It reminds me of a time we went to a concert once and we had a friend that ended up in the bathroom having a panic attack. You got to be very careful when you go to these types of shows that you have the right levels and you're, you know, in the right mindset.
Yeah, when I was at that Travis and Kendrick Lamar concert, there was a bunch. Me and the other friend I went with, we were probably the oldest people in the building at this time, and this kid was in the bathroom, like,
Right.
going through it. I was like,
Yeah. It can be tough.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
lots of people
lesson
die at
learned.
Travis shows.
Whoa.
Now,
Try and get us
but it's
canceled,
not
bro.
dark. I mean, it happened.
Yeah, it did happen.
Now, the first concert I ever went to that I remember, like my parents never took me to concerts. If they went to a concert, it would be like Little Anthony and the Imperials or Frank Sinatra. I think they went to see Engelbert Humperdinck once when they were in like Vegas. So they never took me to I wasn't into their music. So I didn't start going until I was like 16. We all had cars. The first one I remember going to was also at the Civic Center. It was Beastie Boys, The Roots, and John Spencer Blues Explosion. It was an unreal show. It was like a weeknight. I don't even think my mom knew I went.
Wait, who was that last one?
Yeah.
John Spencer
who was the
Blues
headliner, Beastie
Explosion.
Boys?
I think John Spencer Blues Explosion was actually the
I'd
headliner.
never heard of John Spencer.
But Roots
Blues
opened up,
Explosion.
and actually before the Roots opened up, they had a DJ, and it was Questlove DJing in the middle of the place, and he was playing the Old Dirty Bastard solo album was coming out the next day, and he was playing it. And I was like, oh shit! And then
Wow.
I waited for I was 16. I was the Roots were like my heroes, so I waited him for. He had went outside to use a payphone. There was no cell phones back then. There was a grip of payphones at the back of the Civic Center, and I had my Walkman on me, and I had my Organics cassette tape.
Was it a Walkman or a Discman?
It was a Walkman. The Organics cassette tape, and I had him sign. I think I still have it in my hand. I did sign the. It was like a blank tape. I had him
you're
sign,
like, sign
and he
this.
just signs his afro. He doesn't sign his name or anything. So that was my first concert. That was an incredible. And that year I went to so many. One of the ones I went to right after that, we went to see the Goats, which were another Philadelphia rap group. They were signed to Rough House Records, which was based out of Philadelphia. That was Cypress Hill, Nas. I mean, all the greats were.
Wait, that was based out of Philly?
Yeah,
I didn't know
the
that.
guy who started it's from Philly.
Oh, shit.
We'll get him on the pod.
Yeah, hold him up.
Sure, we got some great
So
stories.
I was at my buddy's house, and my buddy lived in Ben Salem. Shout out to Stinky. He watches.
Shout out Steve.
He started hieroglyphics.com. Del the Funky Homo Sapiens, Souls of Mischief, Casual, Extra Prolific. All like he started.
Which, by the way,
it was a fan site.
To tie that back to some of the other stuff that we've talked about in the past, that kind of music, like all the Souls of Mischief, the hieroglyph stuff, was in all the skate videos I used to watch.
Yeah, oh
also.
yeah, Plan B skate
That,
video.
yeah, the Plan B.
That was the classic.
The Beastie Boys. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, those.
That's
were
why I
such
was
good
into
videos.
skate videos because of the music.
Ah.
But anyway, so my buddy had started hieroglyphics.com. So we're in his house on the way to the concert, and he gets a text, and it's an Oakland area
No,
code.
a
A page. Not,
No
on his,
texting.
on his beeper from an Oakland area code. So he calls it back, and it was Tajay from the Souls of Mischief. And he's like, yo, man, I just saw the website. I love it. And he's passing the phone around. He's like, this guy's saying he's Tajay from the... And it ended up being the Souls of Mischief. It was him and A+ on the phone, and my buddy ended up
Linking
connecting with them for and that was one of the biggest and first and biggest rap group websites ever.
Can I
mean,
just say, to this day, I
Stop
did it.
pounding
I did
the
it.
table,
Damn
man.
it. I did it. You know what's funny? My dad does that all the time. Such a spaz. 93 till, like, I know you probably, there's other songs that you probably like that aren't as popular from the albums or whatever, but
no, that's the
when
greatest
that song starts, I'm a bass guy too. Like, I mean, like, that is just like the best vibe when that song starts. I don't care if it was
that
1993 or whatever.
And Pete Rock and CL Smooth, they reminisce over you. Those are the two best intros to
Unbelievable.
rap.
Yeah, we
What
need
is that,
to.
saxophone?
Yeah.
And that's,
The
oh my
Feedback that I've been
God.
getting from the podcast is that the bass episode, people love it and they like playing along. So we need to bring that back at some point.
You want to bring that back?
We need to bring that
See,
back.
my only concern is I used, and it by the way, this is a good chance.
You're
to
tapped out?
No, I'm not. Well,
okay.
look, so we did an episode back in the beginning. And by the way, if you're watching this and you're enjoying it, we got a lot, we got like 11 episodes. You can go back and check them out. So we had one episode. I used to be in a band, played the bass, and so I had this idea to do a challenge where I would play hip-hop bass lines from the 90s, and these guys had to guess. Meech, I won't tell you what happened. You got to go back and watch. But yeah, so, but I used a lot of the, like, most, my favorites. I'm sure there are others. We could get into the second level of knowledge, maybe. Maybe we run that back, or I can think of a different way to do it.
Yeah.
But
Who
I'm
won
happy
that
to bring
between
back.
you two guys?
I got blown
You got to
the
go
fuck
back
out.
and watch.
Oh,
You got to go back and watch.
But before we go past from this the concert
Oh,
talk,
yeah, sorry.
I have a concert story that I wasn't even at the concert, but it's so great, and I think it would be cool to share. Pantera had a guitar player, Dimebag Darrell. He was like one of the greatest guitar players ever.
By the way, the way you say Pantera, I say Pantera. He goes Pantera. You know what I mean? I love it. I love it. Now just keep
Roosevelt.
He's one of, and I wasn't a heavy metal fan by any means, but he's regarded as one of the greatest guitar players ever, especially in metal. He was actually killed on not in Philly, but he was killed on stage by a crazy fan.
What?
Yeah. So they were Pantera in '94 were in Philadelphia to play a concert. Dimebag Darrell, after the concert, he got shit-faced. He forgot his guitar. My buddy's brother was the concert promoter for Electric Factory, and he was like, he knew all about Pantera, like he loved them. So he took the guitar after they left and brought it home with him.
Uh-huh.
We used to hang out in my buddy's basement, so he had so much concert memorabilia in there. He had like steel drums from bands. He had, the shit Steven Tyler puts on the microphone, all those rags. He has those
Bandanas.
hanging. Yeah, he has those hanging down. He had all over the basement, a pool table. It was one of the coolest places to hang out because his parents were never home. We could drink. So we see this guitar down there, and we're like, holy shit, this guitar is cool. We're taking it out. We're like, none of us know how to play a guitar. Then on MTV News, I swear to God, I'm not making this up. MTV News. I don't remember if it was Kurt Loder or John Norris, the dude with the gap in his teeth, but they were like, Dimebag Darrell, his first guitar he ever owned is missing. It was stolen at a concert in Philadelphia, and my buddy's brother had it, and he was just waiting to give it back to him. And he returned the guitar to him. He got it back, but I actually Googled a little bit of it today just to make sure I wasn't making this up. And he never played that guitar again in concert.
He just kept it.
Yeah.
It actually said he did a deal with a different type of guitar manufacturer shortly thereafter.
Right.
Very interesting.
So that's
stuff.
that's kind of fucked up. How like see, this is how Philadelphia gets a bad rap. This guitar was stolen. In
Me
Philadelphia.
and my buddies were playing
Yeah.
Dimebag Darrell's first guitar,
That's
and
wild.
we had no idea. Like we were playing a piece of music history,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Philly just getting dragged through the media again, like stolen guitar in Philadelphia. When this guy got all fucked up and just left it there.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that's what he thought happened.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Dimebag.
All right, well,
Shout out
R.I.P.
Dimebag.
Dimebag Darrell.
Now, Fink, I don't know if the Fish concert has worked its way into your list of memorable concerts or where you're at, but let's check in with the Finkster here.
So
on,
my first concert
memories.
was the Aftermath tour. It was Eminem, 50 Cent, and D12
Hell yeah.
at Camden.
That must have been hype.
I think we were like, I think I was like
Sucks.
16 or 17 or 15. That was a good one. My worst concert was Drake and Lil Wayne in Camden because I ended
little.
up in jail.
not
Won't get
little.
into that.
little.
I got rock good enough.
So it wasn't.
You ended up in jail.
The
What's up
worst
when you ended up
concert
in
you've
like
ever been to
these
had nothing to
legal
do with-
situations?
Man, snacks.
Oh.
No. So I didn't have off that day. I was trying to catch up on the way down.
I got you. Yeah, I know. I know
got
how
a
it
little
goes.
bit too
But was it
banged up.
Drake and Lil Wayne's fault that the concert was bad, or just your fault that the concert?
got a point
Couldn't
there.
tell you.
Okay.
I want to know.
I mean,
why,
the
I want
af-
to understand. I want to know why you got arrested. If you care to share.
We'll talk about it off air.
All
I
right,
think
cool.
it's good.
All right.
Off the record.
It was not good. I got off with what they were trying to get me. That's
All
why
right.
it's a long story. I don't want to get too into it.
So wait,
It's definitely prostitution.
was that your first?
Wait, picking up prostitutes or him prostituting himself?
I needed money to get back from the ferry.
Wait, so was that your? Did you say your first concert?
That was
That was-
no, that
the
was
first
the
one
worst
was
concert.
No, what was your first?
The,
Aftermath.
Aftermath tour.
Okay,
It was-
well,
Pay
then
attention,
what
dude.
was your favorite?
Fish.
fish.
Oh, that was good. Jay-Z and Justin Timberlake won at Citizens Bank Park.
Okay.
I had a good time at that one. That was
That's
good.
when they had.
Interesting.
They have an album together, right?
The Holy Grail album, I think.
They had. Did they have a whole album together?
Yes, didn't they?
No.
I can't remember. They had that song.
Yeah, the suit and tie.
Oh yeah.
So they played.
No, they had the Holy Grail song.
Listen,
Yeah,
I
but,
went
but
to
they,
see.
they played like all their old
I was
hits
there. I was-
during it. It was a pretty good concert.
Alright.
I don't
My
go to a
wife
lot
and
of
I went to that
concerts.
show.
Yes, it's a good wife show. I went to see Justin Timberlake with my wife and probably got way too into it. You know.
I like Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, I think Justin Timberlake
Timberlake-
sucks.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's
Yeah,
overrated.
I think you
his songs
suck.
suck.
I disagree.
I
I
disagree.
think he,
as well.
I think
I
he
think he's
wouldn't
really talented.
like NSYNC. Corny as shit. It
Yeah,
was
that shit's corny, but-
manufactured. And if it wasn't for Timbaland,
What
all
about
his early shit would
What
suck.
about JT and the Clips? You don't like that, John?
Yeah, but not because of him. I like it because of Pharrell and the Clips.
I don't know, man.
He's just
His whole like album was like produced by the Pharrell.
and Timbaland. That's why
Yeah.
he was good.
All right.
He's also incredibly talented. You can't deny it. You have
You
to.
remember when he tried to do that country ass album?
Nah.
Tanked. It sucks.
No.
Nah, I didn't even
I
listen to that
remember
one.
Yeah,
I knew
because
that
you
was
only
gonna be
listen
big.
to him when Pharrell or Timbaland is playing.
I knew
beats.
that was going to be big.
There's
I
a
didn't even
whole.
listen to that
There's a
one.
void in there that I didn't. I'm not aware of the Justin Timberlake country album, but yeah, I was definitely at that concert having too much fun. You know what I mean? Getting like dancing a little bit.
All right.
I'm talking about some embarrassing concert
Yeah, I'm
moments. I
trying
got to
think.
really back it
one,
up.
One of my favorite concert moments was at the Made in America tour, and Jay-Z came out and they did What We Do. Like it was just Beanie Siegel was in jail at that time, so he wasn't there.
Yeah.
But it was Freeway was there. It was just
Yeah,
such
yeah,
a
yeah.
cool moment, man. I never saw that.
See that like was that crazy? Like the live festival thing and that like was it cool going to it or was it like oh man I can't get I can't get a drink or was it just
No, I love. Like,
love it.
it was-
I've
it
never
was
been
really
to
cool.
Made in America.
It just seems like
seemed
a
That was the
lot.
only time I went.
clusterfuck, Yeah.
I went
then,
once, and
yeah,
that
it
was
was
enough for me.
Yeah, just it's a lot.
It's a thing. Like,
Let's
I
be
just
honest.
got to go. Made America
It's a
your
lot.
city.
It's like Fish.
Yeah.
You know, but you're gonna
One-
go back to Fish.
Oh,
One
I'll
time I
probably get
saw
back
the
to Fish.
Roots
With
at this
snacks.
club called the Middle East. It was a 21 and over club, and I was 17, so I wasn't worried about it because I had a fake ID. But all my buddies were getting tickets too, and it didn't say on the tickets you had to be 21 or older. So we get there, and it's a club, and it was J. Rue the Damager opened up for him. J. Rue and the Roots at the
That's
Middle
fire.
East. It was
Yeah.
incredible. It was right when the sun rises in the east, and Philadelphia Half-Life came out, and
There's some 17-year-olds.
They had to, like, there was almost no 21-year-olds there.
Everyone's
so what
underage.
they had to do was they sent somebody from the club to go out. I don't think they had bracelets. They sent them to go out and get bracelets so they could give the
People-
kids
yeah.
bracelets, and then the regular guys would get. Which is another leads me to another. This is my last.
Got a lot of stories.
This is my last,
Beach
and this
loves
is just
concerts.
a general. When
These are
you-
way better than mine, so you just go ahead.
when we would go to the electric factory, I had my fake ID. So you would go upstairs to drink,
Yeah.
and it was cool because you could just look right over the front of the stage.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Very
could
cool.
drink
Especially
as much
if you
as
get
you
that
want 'cause
one
you get,
spot,
you get
like-
the
yeah,
stand.
you got to get up on the
Right to
railing.
the, yeah.
So what I would do, I would go up the steps, and then I would go towards the end of the stage, and my buddies would be waiting there, and I would drop my ID down. Then they would catch it. They would go up the steps, come down. They would drop my
Love
ID
it.
down again. The
Crafty.
next guy would catch it, go up the steps.
Everyone
drop-
looks like you.
Every-
they
No,
don't even.
I mean,
they're not
they didn't
looking.
actually look at the ID.
Yeah.
They would
Alright.
look at the date.
So wait, I got to tell a related story. This doesn't have anything to do with concerts. It was an ID story because I got my fake ID taken from me at Shenanigans in Sea Isle. But when I was in college, my buddy goes, "Hey, I'm getting some fake IDs made. You want one?" I'm like, "Of course I want one. You kidding me?" He gets me this fake ID. It's a Florida ID, which is one of those like flimsy, you know. The name on it says Jesse Frank Rendell.
What?
You just banged on the table 3 times.
Nah, that was with my finger. I think we should be okay.
I thought it was going to say
okay.
McLovin on that bed.
It said Jesse Frank Rendell. And I looked at the guy and I said, "You used my real name and you just added Frank as the middle name."
Brilliant.
Like,
I don't see what's, I don't
what
see
the
anything
hell?
wrong. with
What
When
are
they
you
answer your
thinking?
name when you give them the ID,
It's like
hey, I'm
it's
Jesse.
like McLovin, you know. It's like I'm like, what the hell are you thinking? So I just went around as Jesse Frank Rendell for
Did
a
it
while.
work?
It worked for a while up until
Until someone was like, "Wait, are you?"
I
I
don't
got
know.
my fake ID when I was 17. I remember it was my buddy's sister was getting them, and I went to my mom. I go, I didn't have anything clever to say. I was like, "Ma, I need $75." She's like, "For what?" I go, "Fake ID." She's like, "What are you going to do with a fake?" I go, "Both my older sisters had fake IDs, but they had fake IDs so they could get into the dance clubs. I'm having fake IDs so I can get
weren't a
beer at
dancer.
the
Yeah.
distributor." And she gave me $75.
Wow. I'm going to the dance club.
I was such
yeah.
a finesser.
You were a finesse.
And I lost it about 3 weeks before I turned 21. By that
Damn.
time, it had faded, and I was at a bar that got raided, and they took my ID, and
I think everyone's had that questionable fake ID.
sad to see.
But it was
I
great.
got
It was
mine
just-
off the Spring
it was
Garden,
4 years
one of
old
them
at that
trucks.
point.
You got yours off of
what,
what?
like the passport photo?
Yeah,
truck?
at Spring Garden on one of them trucks. But they gave me a Louisiana ID.
Oh,
There you
really?
go.
I went into the beer distributor. I gave it to the guy. And he goes, "No." He goes,
Damn.
"Leave or I'm calling the cops." I
Did
was
he give
like,
it back to you?
"No." I was like, "All right,
Oh.
see it."
My son is 21 now, so he can't do anything. But when he was 19, he got a fake ID from like overseas, and it was like IDGod.com or some like
Oh,
weird,
my Lord.
weird site. And what they would do is they would send the IDs over in like a sock, and they would sew, or like in a pair of shorts, or in a stuffed animal, because you can't just send them.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have to send like an
Send that like an item. Yeah.
so they would send him 3. We tried to get into the casino when he had it, and they knew it wasn't a real ID, but they couldn't determine that it was fake, so they had to give it back to him and just told him he wasn't allowed in.
And I'm sure
Parks
you were
Casino.
more
Technology.
than willing to finance it, right?
Yeah, I
Given
was
the
like,
fact that your
this kid's
mom-
21. I said, let's go.
Yeah.
Technology is
What
a lot
guy.
better now than it was when we were underage.
So, I don't know how exactly we segue out of this because we've gone down a lot of deep holes here, but I think
Yeah, let's just end the show.
yeah, let's just enjoy the
Get
concert
the hell outta
discussion about our stories that you probably
Any more
don't
good
give a
concert
shit
stories? I mean,
about.
I got a bunch, but I'm not going to tell anymore.
Well,
we've run this into the
speaking
ground.
of finessing, Meech, while you were on vacation, you took a vacation from some things, but not dominating, the sports betting landscape.
Meech
Let's talk about this. A big celebration for Meech on a
Yeah, it was a
a
great
big win. Let's talk about
I
how
had
this
I had
happened.
just I was on my way back Saturday morning from Wildwood. I was on vacation all week with my family, and we had to take 2 cars because we got 5 kids and a whole bunch of shit. So I packed my car and I drive by myself so I,
I
can have
love
some
it.
peace.
So
and
wait, you
quiet.
drive by yourself and your wife
My
drives all
wife
the kids.
with the 5 kids and all
So good.
and a lot of the shit.
She's like, "Why did it take you 3 hours to get home?"
I got home quick. I unpacked all my shit, but on my way home, I was stuck in traffic. And I got a little notification from FanDuel that I have a $100 risk-free bet.
Boom.
And don't let it expire because it expires tonight.
Can't let that thing expire.
So I opened that baby up, and I noticed that the Phillies were playing Patrick Corbin, who freaking sucks. He's a left-handed pitcher. So I said, I'm going to take the Phillies minus a run and a half, and 4 guys on the Phillies to get 2 total bases, which means like throughout the course of the game, like if you get 1 double, that's 2 total bases. If you get a single and a single later, that's 2 total bases. So all these 4 guys have to do is get 2 total bases, and the Phillies win the game by a run and a half.
I need this education, by the way, because I don't. I like to bet on.
completely lost in
I like
the
to
sauce
bet
until you
on
broke that
football and then a little bit of basketball. With baseball, I haven't.
Yeah,
stepped
baseball's
into that yet.
you could bet crazy things like how many total bases a guy will get, or you could bet he'll get 3 total bases, which is
Or in the home run derby, you could bet exit velocity.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
So you just got. I like the 2 total bases because instead of betting that they'll hit a homer, I like to bet guys that'll hit a homer.
Right.
But
Makes sense.
if it goes off the wall, they get 2 bags out of it. I'm cool. So anyway, I bet the 4 guys. I bet the righties: Castellanos,
Righties
Hoskins,
versus the lefty.
Hoskins,
Pretty smart.
Bohm, and Real Muto. And I bet those 4 guys and the Phillies minus a run and a half. $100 to win $1,700. It was $1,683 and change.
Risk-free bet.
Risk-free bet. If the bet loses, I get my $100 back.
Yeah.
By the 2nd inning, all 4 of those guys had 2 total bases, and the Phillies were up 9-0.
Damn.
So it was like I was in cruise control. There was a couple times it got close. Like in the 8th inning, it was 11-5, and the Nats had the bases loaded. So if they would have hit a homer, it's down to a 2-run game.
Yeah.
But they didn't. The Phillies got out of it. And
See, this is
$1,700.
you know,
These are the things you can do from your car, folks.
And
While
from
I'm
your
stuck in
car,
traffic.
while stuck in traffic with a car full of shit.
And you're coming back from
Sure.
vacation. You probably spent a certain amount
spent
of money on that, and you're
just
like,
about. Yeah.
boom, man,
Perfect.
That's beautiful. I got to start like getting into the baseball.
No,
betting.
No, you don't. No,
No?
you don't.
Baseball.
But
I
like
hate
a
baseball.
risk-free bet, you know, every once in a while they send them to me, and then the following day they sent me one for soccer for the Premier League. I don't know shit about soccer, but I tailed one and it lost. So,
Right. So,
but I got the $100.
You bet on soccer.
Yeah, because it was a risk-free bet. So
okay, but I
why
got to
not?
understand this
All right.
because normally, and again, I'm not the most sophisticated gambler, but you know, they offer you these things when you sign up, right? So that you'll put money in.
Yeah, but then if you have an account for a long time and you haven't touched it, they'll try and entice you with a risk-free bet. They'll say, hey, you haven't been around in a while. Here, bet 100, and if you lose, we'll give it back to you, knowing that I'll probably lose that as well.
Yeah.
And then
Not
they
this
also
time, FanDuel.
They also
Got
have
'em.
Wow,
they have
not this
promos
time.
throughout
Got
the
'em.
week. Like if you do $10 in parlays, you'll get $20 in free bets and stuff. So I had an $80 free bet for doing some dumb things. So you just do that, you get the free bets.
All right.
That's when you risk it all to get the biscuit, like a
Check
Meech
my
bomb.
FanDuel account and see what's
I
going
like,
on there.
I'm kind of like on the periphery of the gambling scene. I'm not ready to dive all the way in, but I do like.
Don't. Just do
but
yourself a
football,
favor and don't.
Football's fun to bet on. You know?
Football is
I really
fun.
like betting on football.
Football
yeah.
and basketball is my
But we
two
talked
favorite.
about this when like the Sixers are playing. I'll do like a parlay and I'll just like pick everybody that I like. You know, and be like,
Yeah.
oh, they're gonna do great. You
Right.
know what I mean? And then if they do, you know, but I never really. I don't think I've hit more than like 3 legs on a parlay in the history of my gambling career. So I think maybe I shouldn't lean into it.
No.
Yeah,
Well,
stay away.
hey,
Bad idea.
congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm happy.
What are you going to do with
see
that money you won? Anything
Well,
good?
Well, he rolled it over the next night.
That's a
It's,
shitty bet.
it's pretty much spent already. Like,
All right. It paid for vacation, or paid for some of the vacation.
While we were on vacation, my wife broke her Apple Watch, and she was devastated. So I bought her a new Apple Watch because I'm a great guy.
Oh, look
So-
at you, good husband, Meech.
Related
Look at
story,
him.
we were on a golf trip, and this guy lost his Apple Watch in the ocean
Yeah.
and was so despondent about it. I've been actually taking this one out, and I'm a little bit concerned it's going to come off.
Nah, it'll be fine. I was hungover, and we went in the ocean, and I got slammed around a little bit. I come out of the ocean, and I'm looking down. I'm like, wait a minute, my watch is in there.
Great
It's on
Apple
a
Watch,
shark somewhere.
Well,
but it's all good.
Glad
Then
you
I pay for a couple fall sports leagues and go grocery
fantasy
shopping.
buy-in.
Yeah,
fantasy
You know,
buying.
next thing you
Fantasy's coming up.
You know,
huh?
next thing you know,
Fantasy
there
is
goes
coming
$1,700.
Fantasy is coming up. You guys are in a league together, right? Saw some stuff.
2
about
now.
Yeah, I got the
Meech
I got
just-
the number
I
one
just
overall
invited
pick.
Meech to my other league.
Oh,
We're gonna be having
have
fun.
the league with all the Twitter homies, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
got,
good.
That's the one I got
Meech
the
got
number
first
one.
pick in it, and I got
And you
second
got
pick.
2.
Now, this is, I don't know if anyone cares about these fantasy discussions.
Yeah, I
but
think people enjoy fantasy.
All right.
Nobody cares about your personal team once you draft it,
Right.
but they enjoy the fantasy talk that leads up to.
I kind of like, it's great having the first pick because you don't really have to think about it. You know what you're going to do.
I hate it.
But then you got to wait so long.
Right, I hate having
like
the
having like, I like having like 8, 9, what depends how many, people are in your league, but getting those 2 picks, man, you can get a lot of value. You know what I mean? Like, I like that waiting. When you go through a draft and you have to wait that long, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pain in the ass.
kind of.
You
I
got
think every time I've gotten the first pick and I have to take the consensus guy, he always gets hurt. It's every friggin' time. So who's it? Jonathan Taylor this year?
Yeah.
He'll be out by week 4.
Nah, I'd do the animal.
But I'll tell you this: it's actually great to be either at the
He's
front.
an animal till I draft. Right. Then he turns into Mr. Average, gets hurt a lot.
Yeah.
So
You can always overcome, though, man. I had Derrick Henry last year and still won both leagues.
So it's
saw
better
that happen.
to be in the beginning or the end, because then you get to make your picks right together.
I also might mention I suck every year at fantasy football. I used to be good at it.
Now-
I used to care. Now I don't.
You gotta care a little bit.
Care as much. I just.
So why are you doing it? We got people in our league who are like this, and I'm like, why the fuck are you even doing it? You're wasting a spot that people want to get into.
I mean, I'll
Talk shit, maybe.
change my team, but I won't probably offer many trades. I go through the motions.
I got you.
I hate
got
it,
you.
but
I got you.
I'm being honest with you.
Yeah. Now you
I'm just
guys
too
do like
old.
the in-person draft where you get together and
Does people?
Yeah,
you guys do that like Angelo's,
my
right?
friends do.
Yeah.
It's our 12th year.
No, we
and
didn't
we
do
do
the
draft
draft yet.
every
We just
year in
got
person.
together.
Oh, okay.
okay.
We usually like we'll do like a bar or something, but we'll do a lot. We do it at Fink's a lot to like we open up. We just
That's a good idea.
yeah. So we
Finks,
just
is that a place?
We should get them to sponsor
Nah,
us too.
Shout out Finks.
Do your draft at Finks. I like the idea of the live draft, but it's always like it never. You know, you're texting. We should do a live draft.
Dude,
and
it
by the
never
end-
comes together. Like our shit no
Yeah,
down.
the
It's
remote
like,
thing
what-
is so easy, but to
Yeah.
do it together, even though you're doing it on the internet, that's pretty cool.
yeah. We usually get at least 10 guys to show up. So it's 10 out of 12 usually. So it's
There you go.
always a good time.
It's a good group of guys. Well, you know, everybody loves to come out on the winning end. I did it again. Everybody loves to come out on the winning end of the fantasy. You know, win
We're gonna have
that-
to get you a
Hold
nice
on,
little
hold on,
You know,
hold
I
on,
need
hold on,
I need
hold
a
plate right
yeah,
here.
yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. Let's go. It's probably still gonna be bad.
All right,
Anyway,
let's get out of
no, we need a little plastic shield that I can't.
How about you just
reach.
don't bang the goddamn table?
It's very
You're
hard.
the
It's
only
my
one who has this
instinctual
problem.
reaction. I use my hands too much. Well, anyway, everybody likes to come out on the winning end of the fantasy season, right? Win the championship, have that money. And I was thinking, like, the Phillies right now, there's just like this real vibe there with these guys, you know, with the acquisitions that they made. They seem to be having a great time playing. You know, 2 different 4-game sweeps in the last 2 weeks. It's kind of out of control how well they're playing. And it just got me thinking, like, the Phillies are doing so well. The Eagles are now in camp, and, like, everything that's coming out of there seems really positive. I just wonder, looking back, we've all seen really 2 championships, I guess, in our lifetime, right? Would you count 08 and, 17, 18 with the Eagles, right? I mean, these are the 2 championships that we've witnessed.
Wings lacrosse, man.
Wings lacrosse. Shout out to the Wings.
Shout
Love
out
the
the
Wings.
Lax players.
But, you know, I look back on it, especially...
Gate Brothers.
Gate Brothers. Listen, I played lacrosse. The Gate Brothers were nasty, man. They were the truth.
Did you go to that Gates lacrosse camp
I don't know.
at St. Joe's? I think you were there with me.
I might have.
Anyway, we used to dominate.
no one cares
back
about
in
our.
the
Yeah,
day.
no one cares about.
I love when I say something stupid. It turns into a little side discussion between you two.
We used to go hard back in the day.
We
in
did go
Lax,
hard.
dude.
We were teammates.
I don't know. I don't
we
even
were
know how to catch a
responsible.
friggin' lax ball.
We were responsible for a lot of offensive output, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, the year that we won the Super Bowl, I remember, you know, this was Doug Peterson's second year, coming off a 7-9 season, and like, no one was going in that season like the Eagles are going to contend, you know, like we had no idea, and then they just started kicking ass, and then they just captured that like vibe, you know, and it had me thinking like, could we possibly, without knowing it, whether it's with the Phillies or the Eagles, be in that scenario right now where we don't know that we're about to go on this ride and like either of these teams because of the way the teams are constructed or the moment in time, right? And to me, it's different. You have 2 scenarios. You have one where it's like, okay, your team has been like contending for 3 years, and you're like, all right, we definitely have a shot. We're one of the best teams. And then you have kind of what happened with the Eagles before, where it's like you had really no inclination that was going to happen, and it just everything goes right. And so I'm thinking right now, with both the Eagles and the Phillies, there's no logical reason to say like we're definitely going to contend. But I'm just wondering, could it be possible that either one of them have, you know, some sort of magic?
Absolutely,
Absolutely
it's possible.
So
Yes.
like, I want to start with the Eagles because to me,
They got the better chance.
well, it's very analogous if you think about it, right? So Doug Peterson was in his second year. Now, he was coming off a 7-9 season. We got Nick Sirianni in his second year, coming off a season where he scraped the team together and got into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And, you know, everyone's
It really is. I don't think people understand how amazing it was that the Eagles made the playoffs last year. The team started off like shit. Everybody kind of hated Hurts, and then they just
grinded it.
Yeah,
I can't remember. Did they need that last game to get in? That extra game?
What was the last game?
I can't remember.
I feel like they did.
Yeah.
I feel like they did need that last game to get in.
There's 17. It's so hard to remember them now.
Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. Interrupt.
No, they definitely did.
Sorry to interrupt.
I agree, though. It was like Hurts' first full season. It was Nick Sirianni's like rookie year. It started out as a disaster. I was at the Vegas game against the Raiders. I was ready to give up on everything. I was like, this is the worst thing ever. This team sucks. This guy's got no idea what he's doing. And to see him change things around, you know, a lot of people are talking about it's like a light training camp and they're not doing enough hitting and this, that, and the next. But I'm just looking at it and I'm like, the one thing that gives me the most optimism that we could be in that scenario is looking at, you know, the way that they've invested in the, the offensive line. Like Jason Kelce came back, right? I know he believes in Hurts, right? I don't think he would come back if he didn't. And so that kind of, it's the line, Mailata, you know, that is giving me a ton of confidence that, like, maybe there is a chance. Maybe Sirianni's magic, everybody.
I feel like there's always a chance in the NFL. There's so much parity in the NFL. And if you're like a decent team, if your team's put together somewhat well, you can go on that run, like the Eagles that year. The year when the Giants won, when they were
a wild card that year, right?
Yeah, whatever. Like football, like they say,
But
any
Eli
given
went on
Sunday.
an insane run. You need a quarterback to go on an insane run. If you
Dude, we had a backup quarterback when we won the Super Bowl. I mean, shout out to
that was the most insane run you could possibly go on.
That's what I'm saying. So like football, like any given Sunday, it could happen. The Eagles have. It
I
seems
love
like
the
they
Eagles
have
team this
a
year,
good
man.
team.
Love it.
Put together. The quarterback's a little bit questionable, but he's still a good player. He's still a good leader. So, like,
He
I don't see
still
why
got
they
9
can't
wins last year, and we upgraded almost every position.
Exactly. And, like, I was looking at the fucking stats the other day, and I didn't realize how bad his passing stats were last year. If he just improves a little bit on that and with these other weapons he got, I don't see why they couldn't win.
Well, and, like, you know, the defensive upgrades, you know, across the board, there's not a lot of, like, usually there's a couple just glaring weaknesses.
You
know,
might have
like,
the best cornerback combo in the league.
Yeah.
Right.
You got linebackers finally.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jordan Davis is freaking humongous. I love him.
Yeah, that dude's
I love
giant.
him. He's
Yeah.
huge.
But losing Kelsey I don't know how long he's going to be out for. But
They're
that's
saying
exactly
week
what
one.
he's going
They're
to
saying week
It's
one.
like you
They say
clean
he's gonna
out your
miss his
knee or
Yeah, but come on. You're a lineman. You got to use
nothing.
your
use
arm.
your
It's
arm.
a nothing surgery.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
All right.
So
It's like a basketball player cleaning out his knee.
Dude, I
He's
had
got
my knee
3
cleaned
days.
out, and that shit hurt like a motherfucker. So I'm gonna tell you, I'm not a pro athlete, obviously.
I just
but-
wanted to have this conversation so we can go back to this when they win the Super Bowl and say, we did talk about it.
Well, how
Like,
many
there was a
wins?
chance.
What would you say wins? What do you think?
I saw the over-under was 9-ish.
9.5. I'm going with
I
12.
say 12 and 5.
I'm going with 12 as well. That was my
It's
prediction
so
before
weird
that.
to
I
say
know, the
12
17
and 5.
is-
I'd have to
instead
see
of
the
12 and
schedule, but I don't know, man. You said 9.5. I might put what the fan do.
I'm gonna go.
Get your risk-free bet up.
I'm gonna go 11-6, which is like the old 9-7. I don't even know. I like 11-6, 11 right there. Yeah, so we'd all be going over, you know.
That's a playoff team right there.
Now let's talk about the playoff Phillies.
Yeah, let's talk about the playoff Phillies. I mean, it was funny because I actually went to Baseball Reference because I was interested in how the build-up to the 2008 team compared to the build-up to the Eagles Super Bowl. You know, and I noticed that the record was pretty good, you know, the year before, and that, we got swept by the Rockies, right, in the division series there. So I don't think we were going into that season like, we're going to win the World Series, but we knew we had a really good team.
Yeah.
But it was so funny because if you go, you've been on Baseball Reference before, right? It lists all I'm not doing it. It lists all the seasons, and then like it says like, you know, lost in the whatever the playoff result was. And I had to go down so far to get to the last playoff. I mean, there was, you know, there's whatever it is, 11 or 12 empty columns just to get down to when we
Second longest MLB
Yeah, I mean,
drought.
it was.
Speaking of Baseball
depressing.
Reference and the Phillies, do you know the Phillies this week should win their 10,000th game in franchise history?
I did hear that, which is noteworthy because they were known for losing their
Yeah,
10,000th game.
everybody made a big deal when they lost 10,000, but nobody gives a shit that they're about to win 10,000.
Well,
I guess like why give
So
a
they're
shit?
under 500.
It's
as a
like just an
franchise.
arbitrary number.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
so I would say this,
Fucking
right? Like,
bums.
They're a huge loser franchise in the history in the annals of baseball history.
when it comes to the comparison between the two, I think in football, to your point with parity, there's not one team that I'm like, there's no way we're getting through that team.
Right.
At least in the NFC, I don't look at anyone as like the Bills or the Chiefs. You know what I mean? I think it's wide open. I will say in baseball, teams are so good. Their lineups are so loaded. Their pitching staff is so good.
Yeah, but all you got to do is get Nola on a good game and get Zach Wheeler on a good game, and there you go. You won a series.
We've lost a lot of their starts, if you look at the stats.
But all it takes throughout the year, a lot of pitchers are going to lose a lot of games. I'm not a big fan of Nola, but who knows? He could beat the Braves, and
no doubt
Wheeler could beat the Braves, and look, and then you just won a series in Atlanta and move on to the next round.
Now, I'm not the biggest baseball guy, obviously, right? So, are the Yankees and the Mets still on that historic run?
Yeah, the Yankees have lost
they're cooling off.
Yeah, until last night they won, but they lost 5 in a row. I think the Mets and Yankees both have the same record now.
Mets are just as hot as us. I think they're 8-2 in their last 10.
But are they I remember hearing they might.
No, it's
not the historic pace
okay,
anymore.
so
the Mets have caught them.
I think the Dodgers have the best record in baseball right now.
Yeah.
And the Padres just loaded
So people
up,
have come down to earth. So there's
Padres haven't won since they got Soto.
Right. Yeah. It just goes to show it. No, the Phillies. I saw a stat. That we have 3 teams in our division that have over 60 wins, and there's only 4 in the rest of baseball. So it's kind of a crazy year. I wish I could remember the account. So there's a guy that always comes on my feed who always tweets out how our record compares to the 2008 Phillies, and this year it's been we've had the same record or better than the 2008 Phillies the whole time.
The 2008 Phillies, I always remember them being top of the league, dominant.
Not really. They came on.
Late in 2008, they were in a wild card hunt, and they played Milwaukee in a 4-game set after they just traded for CC Sabathia.
Mm-hmm.
And CC Sabathia was the only pitcher who didn't pitch in the 4-game. You see in a 4-game set, there's only one pitcher you miss. It was CC Sabathia.
Wait, why didn't he?
Because there's a 5-man rotation.
And that guy was the 5th down?
They don't do that anymore.
No. It was just it just happened to fall that way because it was late in the season.
Oh,
he had
so
just pitched the game
before
the Phillies game,
Yeah.
and they just happened to miss him. It was luck.
Okay.
But they swept the 4 games, vaulted them, I think, ahead of the Brewers. We were maybe 3.5 back going into the series. And then after that, they just went on a crazy run. Howard had his normal September, and they went nuts. But until late in the season, it was still up in the air if they were going to make the playoffs. It was, yeah.
Well, like Jesse said, comparing to the 08 team, they were built on offense. I think this team's built on offense. You have Wheeler. Like he said, you have Wheeler. You have Nola. You get one of them guys. They steal a game. They steal 2 games for you. You can win any series with them too.
Yep.
Your bullpen is way improved than it used to be.
What you look at our 2008 rotation. It was Hamels, then it was Myers, then Jamie Moyer and Joe Blanton. Is that great?
Wheeler Nola is better
Moyer
than
was
Brett
old
Myers
as
and
fuck, man.
And Jamie Moyer should have won the World Series game.
I think the Phillies break the playoff drought this year, and I think they're building themselves up, and I think in the next year or the following year, we take the whole thing.
I just can't wait until Harper comes back, man. Team's playing unreal now, and he's on his way back.
They're winning without Harper too. That's the thing. That's insane.
He's on his way back.
Well, if
he might come back and disrupt everything.
No,
I'm just saying.
Baseball isn't a chemistry
sport.
Baseball isn't a chemistry sport where this guy, when he's on the block down low, he doesn't mix with this point guard.
Yeah.
You just go up and you
Yeah,
bat.
I know you hit. I'm just joking around.
So I agree with you to an extent. Obviously, it's more of an individual performance type of game. But there is a chemistry thing, I feel like, going on.
There's a
sure
chemistry
he's still
maybe between a
around,
pitcher
dude.
and a catcher and a second baseman and shortstop. That's the only chemistry you need in baseball.
This team, I think, is gelling.
Yeah, but you don't think he's
right.
around?
You gotta see how
the team to get along.
Once
but
the manager got fired, the manager got fired.
Did
look
it.
how the team's been since then. It's been
it was an
unreal.
attitude change.
Yeah, they've been unreal.
So we saying,
and just by rearranging the bullpen, they've become one of the best bullpens in the majors, and they were the worst bullpen just because this idiot Girardi had no idea how to maneuver them. And I don't know who it was, some dude on Twitter,
Some dude on Twitter.
he's a real smart guy, I forget who it was. He was saying if Joe Girardi was still the manager, there's no chance he would have ever batted Derek Hall in cleanup. He wouldn't even be in the game, but if he was, he'd be batting 8th, and he'd be batting Didi Gregorius 4th, or some other crap player. I'm glad he's
You
not
guys
even
are
on the
getting
team
way
anymore.
too deep
Yeah.
on this talk for me.
Let's not.
I'm out.
Since June 1st, I have the top 3 record in baseball too.
Right.
So
Well,
you guys are saying
There's
there's
a
a
chance.
possibility that the Phillies can win? And
They
there's a
could win the
possibility
World
that the
Series.
Eagles
I
can win?
think what we've concluded is we're saying there's a chance for both teams.
Are we,
So, a lot of reasons. Hey, a lot of reasons to be optimistic as we head.
Going off the division thing, I put a bet in last night, $10. The Eagles, the Phillies, and the Sixers to win their divisions. $10 to win 6,300.
Ooh,
I mean,
I might get down on that too.
there's
I mean,
just
we're
no
we're like
risk there.
we're pretty far back of the
Oh, they're not
Mets,
gonna win,
but
yeah. The
hey,
Phillies aren't
hey,
gonna win the
you
division.
get what did we just
You
say?
never know.
What happened in 08? You get hot,
You never
make a
know.
run.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, I feel hopeful. You know what I mean? Which says a lot for a normally pessimistic Philadelphia sports fan. And that was fun talking about all of the concert memories, what have you.
I could do 7 more concert episodes.
Yeah, we're gonna do.
I swear
After
to
this,
God.
we've got 2 concert episodes lined up. Now we're excited. Got a couple guests lined up. We're gonna be doing some fun things when the football season kicks off. If you guys are enjoying what you're seeing or listening to, please continue to subscribe, like,
Even if you aren't enjoying it, just
Yeah,
keep
no,
watching.
just do it.
Just keep
Chime
watching.
in.
we have to prove to our
Chime in.
wives and our families it's
Give us a
worthwhile.
little hate.
So
If you want to hate on us, throw
can
some hate
hate.
out there. Yeah,
throw the hate. Throw the
we'll
hate.
throw some
in.
hate back
Hate
at your
fuels
bitch
me.
ass.
It fuels me. I
Thank-
want it.
Thank you. If you tuned in and watched this all the way to the end, much love to you, and we'll catch you next time.
Peace.
Later. See ya.